Hey Daryl, I don't know if you can hear this or not, but if you can just type in there that you can, I'd appreciate it. Hey Todd, can you hear me? No, sorry, Todd. I had it on mute. There's only two people here right now, so gonna give it a few minutes and see if any more come on. I've had 43, I think, register, so I don't know what's going on. It's obviously the link works, so I'll just give it a few more minutes. Hey, Scott, I just seen your message there. You just set up a Unify. All right. Well, you know what? There's only 4 people here. I think 4 or 5. I'm gonna get started. You know, like I said, had 43 people sign up. If they can't be bothered, well, I can't be bothered waiting any longer. I know what we have, and I'm gonna show you guys what we have. All right. So let me switch screens here. All right. Um, who's asking this question? Yeah, Todd. I'll show you the pricing table and the version 2 stuff and all that. I'll go through that. Actually, has everybody here seen the main nuts and bolts of the dashboard? Because if so, then I'll just skip to the version 2 upgrades and the pricing table and all that. Okay, can everybody hear me typing there as well as sending the text? Somebody else has their microphone on too that's typing right now. All right, well, I'm going to start going through this dashboard. If anybody has any questions, just speak up. I don't know. Some people are having issues, some aren't. I don't know what the problem is. It could be a Google issue. It could be your browser problem. It could be my browser problem. But either way, I got it sorted yesterday without any issues. I'm hoping it's you guys' problem. I hope it's a problem with you guys and not me, actually. So anyways, when we sign on to the dashboard, this is what it'll look like for you. You won't have the resellers here, obviously, but you will have the customer accounts. All right. Now, if you click on the left side, it'll give you the basic details of that account holder, including their password. Okay. If they decide that they're not paying you and you want to suspend their account, you can do that. All right. But I'm not going to do that because this is a live account. All right. Now, if you click on the right side of that, this is what you will see if you switch into that customer's account. Okay, so this will be what your vendor will see as well, your venue owner. All right, so at a glance, you know, the returning users, unique users, total Wi-Fi sessions, average dwell time. There isn't any because I haven't been logged on for very long, but the longer people stay on the device and the more that they do, the dwell time shows up here in this graph. All right, social sharing stats. These numbers, the 317 likes, 101 shares, the tweets, the plus ones, and the LinkedIn shares are all based on your social account setting from whichever venue, Facebook venue page that you set up. Okay, so that's where these numbers come from. All right, it'll show you the recently connected users, the top users, the top 5 users will be listed here. All right, like I said, I just hooked up this device, so there's only me here right now. All right, actually, let me go and I'm going to show you. I'm going to connect with my other device here, and you can watch how it will come up. I'm going to connect with my Google account. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to log on with my City Wi-Fi Google account. Of course, I've got a pop-up blocker on my Linux box, so probably a bad choice of device to choose from. Yeah, here. I'm going to re-log on from my cell phone because my Linux box is a test box, and I don't know if anybody here knows anything about Linux or Unix, but it's quite a different beast to get logged on to. Okay, I was probably just going to reconnect me via my app again, so this should grab a new connection here. Yeah, see, so it's connected twice. So I had to log on with my Facebook account again because that's what I was already authenticated on my my cell phone. All right, now to get further information on the customers, you just click into the customers here. All right, and in the view details. All right, and it shows you my information. All right, now this email address, everybody that logs onto your back end here, their email address gets pulled and put into a MailChimp account if you have one. All right, it's got native MailChimp integration. All right, and I'll go through that with you as well. It'll show you my friends, so you can say, hey, Mr. Bar owner, restaurant owner, store owner, whatever it is. This user logged on and checked in and advertised to 287 of his friends for you. So you can actually show them the friends numbers. All right, it'll show you the visits, how many visits, login frequency, you know, by day, by week, and the details of my login. All right, it shows you which venue I've logged in at, as well as what device I'm using. All right, and this is my Note 3, and any usage. All right, I just logged in, so obviously there's none. Loyalty programs. All loyalty programs that you send and that are redeemed will show up in here. All right, and I'll get into the loyalty program. That's um, for any kind of contest, competitions, anything you want to set up. All right, I'm just going to go through all the top keys first, and then we'll do the subcategories. Okay, venues. Simple, add a venue, just fill in the information. All right, that's pretty self-explanatory. Now, if you want to delete the venue, let's say they haven't paid you for several months, and the suspension didn't do any good. You want to delete the venue, you can hit the delete button here. It'll delete the venue. If you do it by accident, you'll get a warning message to make sure that that's what you want to do. Okay, so we're not going to do that right now. All right, campaigns. That's coming from version 2. I can show you some of it, but this main button is not active until September 2nd. All right, because it's a whole this whole menu is not a huge difference, but I'll show it to you in the following PowerPoint in just a few minutes. Okay, footfall traffic. Currently, this is only with the Cisco devices because this is their technology. All right. You can place a number of devices wherever you want, and compare traffic. All right, how many people are outside the building, how many people come in, how many bought something, and that's again based on our coupons. Is how you'll figure out how many people have actually engaged in that venues for their spending habits. All right. Again, outdoor stuff. You can say, Mr. Owner, you closed at 4 o'clock, but look, at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, you still had customers out front of your store, right? The shopper retention, how many times they came back, frequency of the visits, duration of the visits, and all that. All right. My account stuff, pretty simple stuff. Shows you at a glance your devices that you have active. You want to change your password, social accounts. Right? Again, this is where you would put the Facebook page. All right, and MailChimp button. All right, if you don't have a MailChimp account, I would recommend that you do. All right, for one simple reason, I don't know if Aweber or Constant Contact or any of them have it, but MailChimp, you can have up to 2,000 subscribers, and you can send 12,000 emails every month at no charge. All right, so all you would do is put in your API key and assign whichever list it is that you want to that venue. So as soon as somebody logs on, you can have an autoresponder send them a coupon or hey, a welcome message, whatever you want. So that's a really powerful thing, especially for follow-up marketing and retargeting, via email. All right. If nobody knows how to set up a MailChimp account, just let us know, and we'll help you with that. The sign out. Let's go back over to customers. We'll get into some of the subcategories. The Facebook, Twitter, this is just the logins, how many at a glance, if there was 50 Facebook logins, 20 Twitter, this would all show up here and, in the categories. I haven't because I've only used it with my Facebook right now. All right. If you have a bunch of customers that you want to import and get their social data, we can do that. If you've got a bunch, just send us an email to info@citywifi.ca, and we'll send you how to set up the API to do a bulk transfer. All right, and I'll give you an idea of how it works. If I type in just a simple email address in here, and I want it to search, what it's going to do is it's going to look for the strongest social profile for that email address. Now, the method is only about 65% accurate on finding a social profile with that email, but once it does, the accuracy rate is significant. It's 93% on mine, and that just means that I'm more active on on Twitter than I am on Facebook, Google Plus, or LinkedIn. All right, so that's what that button is for. Again, the API is if you've got multiple contacts, just we'll give you an API key to do a mass import. All right, we're going to have videos on each of these links. All right, but I don't know if anybody's done any video production or anything like that. It's quite time consuming, so it's not a huge focus for us right now, but they are coming. They've been done now, they're just in the editing stage. All right, but there's tips here that'll tell you what to do and what it can't do. And each of them are page specific, so you won't click on this and then it'll tell you how to create a campaign. All right, or if you're in Footfalls, if there's one here, yeah, there's not, because it's just a a basic graphic. So if you're in venues, it won't tell you how to do one for customers and so on. All right. So speaking of venues, we'll go into the venue that we're on. All right. This is the device that I'm connected to right now. All right. If I want to view the settings, all right. And what that gives me there is just the basic information, that I'm saying that I'm connected and what the general details are, the MAC address and that sort of stuff. Now, if you want to change actually, I just go through the tabs. All right, the SSID, the primary one is being broadcast by default. It's at Wi-Fi. You can change it to whatever you want. All right, but we won't right now. This is for your social login. If you go over to the secondary SSID, if you want to completely lock down the employees from logging on with their social accounts, just enable this. Call it work or something. All right, and then put in an encryption key, and you can give them the password, and that way they don't have to keep logging on with the social profile. All right, LAN settings. All right, most people won't worry about this ever. All right, because most ISPs use DHCP. There's the odd duck that they want you to specify an IP, in which case that's fine. Just click the static button and put in the IP address that you should be, and you'll get that from the ISP or from the venue owner. They may know it. Radio, all right. The default country is the United States, all right. But if you're in Kazakhstan or Taiwan, you can change it accordingly. All right. Same as the radio mode. Default is 802.11n. It is backwards compatible. All right. For the most part, I wouldn't touch it. If you're in Brazil or Guyana or something like that, you might. But Canada, the U.S., Europe, China, Japan, all them places, stick with the N, as I mentioned, backwards compatible. And default channel 11. If you've got too much interference on that, you can change the channel. Okay, I'm just going to stop here for 1 second because I see there's quite a bunch of questions coming in, and I'm going to start answering a few of those, and then I'll get back at it. Scott, yes, deleting the venue wipes the hotspot and deactivates it. It does not, however, deactivate your payment subscription. All right, and we'll get into that. All right, no, there was just the one question, really. I'm going to continue flying through this. All right, so when you click in here, all right, if there is an upgrade available for your device, a blue button will show up beside the reboot button. It'll be right here, all right, so that you will be able to do the firmware upgrade yourself. We're never going to push out a system-wide upgrade unless it's an emergency situation. We did a big change to the back end, and without it, it won't work. But the chances of that happening are less than 1%. All right, so we won't do that because 2 o'clock in the morning here, maybe dinner time, which is prime time in a restaurant, or 6 o'clock, and all of a sudden if we do a system update to all the devices, then all your users that are connected to that device will get booted off, and this starts pissing people off. So you'll be in charge of applying your own firmware upgrades. All right. If you don't do it, don't sweat it. Nothing's going to break. It's just until you do, you won't get all the latest features on the back end. Okay. So we'll go down to the landing page. All right. The editor's going to change quite a bit. Right now it's good, but the new one's even nicer, and I'll show you. All right. But the back, I'll just show you some change, like fully editable. All right. All right, so it's all fully editable, and when you go to the connecting user, same thing is fully editable, and you can even change the slider bar here. See, right, so that's all, it's all fully editable. But and you can enable and disable the social profiles that you want, which is on the first page. Sorry, all right, or even that one. All right, and even this text here is configurable, is editable. All right, and the link color as well is editable. All right, so that's connecting user and returning user. Now with ours, they don't have to continuously log in. All right, if they're using the same device, all they got to do is click here to connect, and it counts as a connection. It'll register as a connection on the back end, but the user just doesn't need to keep logging in with their Facebook app, their Twitter app, or however they're choosing to log in. All right, events. Okay, this is where you can create some kind of competition or draw or whatever you want. We are going to drop some templates in here. Again, it's not a huge priority for us. You guys are all big boys. You know how to set up an email template and things like that. All right, you know, runners up. If there's no wins, what happens and what the email is. All right, that's really pretty self-explanatory. If anybody needs to be trained on it, just give us a shout and we will. As soon as we release version 2, which is September 2nd. All right. EPOS, you know, that's for point of sales. All the QR codes, coupons that we're going to be able to push, they are all specific to our platform. All right. And we currently support, I'm even unsure about the number of POS systems, but basically, as long as they're 128 EAN standard, we should be able to integrate them with our backend seamlessly. Now, if your venue does not have a POS system, no problem. They'll have either an Android phone or an iPhone that they can put our app on. Okay, and then they just scan it with our app, and everything shows up on that loyalty tab on the customers thing that I showed you. If you remember, that will be over here. Okay, so that you can track the real-time spending. All right. Staff, again, if you want to remove some staff members, click in there. When you find them, you can it'll just be a delete button. Okay, and all venues just gives you, if you have 30 or 40 venues at a glance, it'll tell you the names of them, where they are, and things like that. All right, I don't know if I've missed anything. I don't believe I have. So I'm going to pause this for a second, or not pause it, but show the version 2 very shortly, but I want to answer some questions first if there is any. So if you can just bear with me for a second. Sorry, guys, I didn't even realize I wasn't live there. So we are 2048-bit signature, 256-bit encrypted. CASL stands for Canadian Anti-Spam Law. The PIPEDA is our actual act. It's Privacy of Electronic Documents Act, which is what governs us. All right. We are NIST compliant, which is what the 2048 signatures are for the 256-bit encryption, which is in the U.S. And we are European Data Protection Act compliance. All right. You can reuse your current devices, such as the TP-Link 3500, 3600, 4300, 4310, and even those of us who have the 1043, the original white ones, we are going to be writing a bin file for that, all right, within the next coming couple of weeks, so you can just hang tight with that one. All right, now if you have a special request as far as devices, if you have a customer who has 20 or 30 devices that they would really like to use, then we will write a bin file for it as long as it's supported by OpenWRT, because all of our bins are open source based. All right, which means the base firmware is open source. So if you go to openwrt.org, you'll see the list of devices that are supported in there. And there's literally hundreds, if not thousands. All right, so you can pick one from there if you've got enough. Don't get me wrong. If you've only got 1 or 2 or 5, we're not going to do it until we get more devices that or more people that want that device flashed and supported. Now, on the back end, one thing I haven't mentioned is we're going to have like a wish list. And we'll put several things up there each week, and you guys can vote on, and whichever one gets the most vote will be implemented the next week, the following week, whether it be for an API integration, a new bin file, new features, things like that. All right. It's not to say the others won't get implemented. It's going to go on a per vote basis and majority rules. Okay. So let's move on. Okay, you can see at the top, a few changes. Like I said, it doesn't look like there's a lot, but this is a ton. All right, it just makes it even easier to navigate than it is. Customers timeline under venue, you've got all the control here of your access points, the landing page, the content injection, the social account staff. Well, you guys can read. All right. Custom sign-on messages. So at the splash page, there's a message that says "Welcome to Ed's Wi-Fi." All right, you'll be able to change that message. All right, right now it's a default one. Whatever you name that venue, it'll say "Welcome to." If it were Kelsey's, it would be Kelsey's. All right, or Kelsey's Red Hill, or Kelsey's Heritage, whatever it is. All right, you're going to be able to completely configure that for both the social logons, not just Facebook. That's Facebook, Twitter, however you want. That's the social page. All right, but for your sign-up form as well. All right, and this is the sign-up form. With the addition, I probably not on September 2nd, but mid-September, we're going to add probably the person's cell phone number here as well. All right, so and you can toggle them on and off as you wish. All right, because when you just get an email address, that's fine, but if you actually get their name, the more information, the better. All right, and you can state whether it's required or not. Okay, now the new layout for designing the pages is you're going to be able to see all 3 of them at once. You don't have to click through the tabs. We had the social first user, the connecting page, and the returning user page. You had to click through on tabs. Now it's going to be a single page. It's not this big. It's obviously full page size. It's just I've zoomed it out so that I can get all 3 at once within this little slide that I'm doing. All right, so it's quite nice in this full page, and it's going to be simple drag and drop. So you can put your first picture in here, second picture, third picture, fourth picture, and it'll scroll between those pictures for people who are logging on. So you can put a logo and a background here, and then you put an ad here, an ad here, an ad here if you like. All right, and it'll render the proper size for smartphone, tablet, and laptop. All right, we've dropped some JavaScript in to differentiate between the 3-inch iPhone and the 5.7-inch Note 3. It will render properly. All right, and one of the best things here, there's only one other platform that I am aware of that has something similar to this, is we're going to have hundreds, I shouldn't say hundreds, but we're going to go gangbusters after the initial release on September 2nd for the whole month of September and just add a bunch of third-party integration apps. So you'll be able to pick and choose what you want on your dashboard. Okay. Now, most are free. There will be some that are at an additional charge. That's not us. That's just whoever, like Salesforce. You know, if you've got a Salesforce account, that's a monthly fee for Salesforce. So, you know, whatever your costs involved with them guys are, that's between you and them. And this right here, Twilio, this is going to be the first one that gets added because, you know, if nobody has a Twilio account, I think it's like worldwide messaging for like 3/4 of 1 cent or something similar, something really ridiculously low priced. I know here in Canada and the U.S. it's 3/4 of a cent, and I'm pretty sure it's worldwide. And I'm sure it's in Europe and Britain as well. All right, so that this is going to be awesome, you know, and it'll all be broken down into categories. We just did this for demo purposes, you know, email, CRM, mobile. There'll be a whole bunch of API integration here. And again, we'll have the wish list. If you want to say Aweber, you want to integrate Aweber, you know, and you know 30 or 40 people vote for Aweber, then we'll put the API in for Aweber. All right, this is the content injection. All right, you're going to have right sidebar, left sidebar is basically divided in half of the screen. All right, top bar and full page. All right, now I don't know if you guys know this or not, but if you look up in the address bar here where it says www.cnn.com, if that says HTTPS for secure, legally, not in any country, on any continent, can you push an ad through a secure connection. All right. Others are getting in trouble for that, and we won't do it. It's not worth our platform and our license and all that kind of stuff that we had to put up. So, you know, like, you won't be able to run these ads on Facebook or even on Google. That's just part of their terms of service, and because it's a secure server. All right. And finally, our loyalty and coupon app. For those that don't have the point of sale system with the barcode scanner, they just install our app on their cell phone, their smartphone, whether it be Apple or Android. All right. Right now, we're working on a Windows version, but right now it's just Apple and Android, and they can scan this. Each bartender can have it installed on their phone, and as long as we sync it to their venue, then it'll track their coupons. All right. Now this is not just a generic scanner. You won't be able to download it and use it as to scan the barcode from the car dealer across the street or the real estate agent up the street if they're not on the platform. All right, because they are specific QR codes to our platform, so it'll only scan those codes. All right, and that's version 2. So if you give me 1 second, I'm going to pause the broadcast and switch over to some other stuff here.
I should get on there with my voice and say, hey, goofball, what? But I won't. No, let's go get the wrong one. Let's play.
Okay, somebody's got their speaker on, or their microphone.
This is version 2.1.
Somebody just said version 2.1.
Version 2.1. And the 4300 one that I have hooked up the AdWire now is version 1.7. Make sure you put the ND on the back of that. Hey man, I'm thorough, okay? Just call me Thorough Fair. I heard about your fucking gig you got with the baseball shit. That's a pretty nice gig. Fucking A, man. The only problem that I could see is you actually had to physically be there. Fuck, I want a gig like that. Is that yours or the company's? Uh, so does that jeopardize your shit at all?
All right, I don't know if anybody else can hear that conversation going on in the background there, but it's not me. All right. So everybody can see this, I'm hoping still. We're going to go through some of the pricing now. All right. So if you want it on City Wi-Fi label, all right, and you don't want to spend the money on either generic or white label, that's fine. All right. You can just activate them under our own, where your customers will see that if you give them a login. All right. The access license pre-September, there's no charge for the setup. All right. Now that's yeah. If there's no charge for the setup as long as you flash and activate a device prior to September 1st, because September 2nd we're doing our version 2 release. All right. It's a flat fee. It's $50 a flash, $40 a month on a month-to-month basis. All right. The reason it costs that much is because you're not paying any money for a license. All right. It's just a flat fee, pay as you go every month. All right. Now, if you want to get into the no branding, like the generic one, all right, there will be all access will be to and from mywifiportal.com, all right, which is privately registered and you can't look it up, so none of your clients can figure out who it is or anything like that. All right, that costs $750 to set up. That's a one-time setup fee, and you got a maintenance fee of $100 annually. That just covers all our costs for upgrades and bandwidth and server costs and all that kind of stuff. All right, the flash and the monthly is different, and I will get to that in just 1 second. If you want white label, okay, it's all your own branding. Customers log into yourdomain.com, which will resolve to our Wi-Fi portal. All right, it's also you get a 256-bit encryption certificate. All resolution from within the device resolves from mywifiportal.com. All right, so when somebody logs in, and if they look in the address bar, it'll still say like portal.mywifiportal.com. All right, and I'll explain that in a second. That for all custom branding, it's $1,500 and $360 annual maintenance fee. Okay, because there's a lot more work in this. You got your videos, your links, all those help files, everything get branded to you. All right, and that includes your SSL renewal every year as well. All right. Again, flashing and monthly, I'll get to in just a second. All right. Now, if you want the customer, when he logs in, to see yourdomain.com, right, instead of mywifiportal.com, that's fine. We can do that. It's going to cost you an extra $2,000. All right. And here's why. They are AP specific. All right, which means each bin file needs to be specific for your company. So if it's let's say orbitalwifi.com, right? Then everything all the bin files need to be rewritten to resolve to orbitalwifi.com. So if we support 40 devices, we need to write 40 bin files for orbitalwifi.com. And when we do upgrades, we'll need to do 40 upgrades for orbitalwifi.com, for 40 for citywifi.com, 40 for yourbusiness.com. It's just a ton more work. We'll do it, no problem, but it costs more money, and it gets passed down along the line. All right. And in addition to, it's an extra $300. It's $1,000 a month, not $360. All right, because of all the work that goes into it. It's essentially having your very own 100% complete platform. It's entirely yours. All right. So let me get to the pricing now. Okay, so now this is per access point. Right now, let me zoom it in a little bit so I can get more in here. Right now, if you sign up, if you jump on, whatever you want to call it, all right, you're going to pay $27. All right, and that's all you will ever pay. All right. Now, this is totally different setup. It's better pricing, I think, because you can break it down on what it's going to cost you. Now, if you want everything that we've got on the back of the dashboard and content injection, then your cost is $31. All right. After September 2nd, it's going to be $35. So you're saving a few bucks there. Now, if you want everything with the reporting service, oh, sorry, I didn't talk to you about the reporting service, but and the footfall analytics, Cisco charges us through the yin yang, so we got to pass those costs on. All right. But these costs you pass on to your customer anyways. All right. The reporting service, if you want to basically set it and forget it, your customer doesn't want you to do anything fancy, all they want is a report once a month, then they want this reporting service. And once a month, based on the parameters that you set, it will send them a nice graphical image that will break down how many customers were there, at what hours was there women there, what hours there were men there, what the breakdown between men and women are, even right down to the websites they were browsing, okay? Because there is web logging on it, URL logging, all right? You'll be able to break it down and say, Mr. Customer, between 3 and 6 p.m. on Thursday of last week, you had 32 females in here, and this is what they were looking at on as far as these are the web pages they went to that they're interested in. All right, so it's really cool. I didn't go over that. Sorry, I don't have a picture of that, but I'll post it up on the Big Data website Facebook group once we're done here. All right, I'll make sure I get it there. The footfall analytics. All right, basically $50 a flash, $25 for each additional flash at the same venue. If you want to buy 5, it's $200. You save some money. You want to buy 10, it works out to $30 each. All right, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Anybody who wants a copy of this, just you know how to get a hold of me. It's not an issue. Now, this is API pricing, all right? Because our platform, if you want to go into, say, the Bellagio or a Walmart or a football stadium, and where they've all got their own devices, all right? This is what we're going to use for pricing, because with our API, now their tech guys will know how to do it. All they do is plug in our code to their controller, their Cisco controller, their Ruckus controller, whatever they've got that controls their Wi-Fi devices. And trust me, they've got something that controls their Wi-Fi devices. All right? You don't pay a flash fee, all right, because it's all done remotely. And this is how you would base it. So if they had, let's say, 20 access points that they wanted to get data from, our data, the social data, then the first one costs $22.50, all right, and let's say they've got 30, so then it would be $12.75 for numbers 2 to 30, all right, so $12 times, call it times 20, all right, so it's $240, $260, all right, monthly cost. Now, if you compare that with the APs, you're looking at $800 a month for the access points. All right, so this is for big venues, and unless they've got 10 devices at the same client, that we're not going to integrate the API. All right, because there's no money in it for you, there's no money in it for us, and that's the bottom line here. As long as everybody's making money, everybody's happy. And if you've got 4 in there, I don't know why you would go in and charge them 20, $60, as opposed to, 2 or 3 or 4, $800. All right. So this API pricing is reserved for venues with 10 devices or more. Okay. Now you can have say a car dealership who is spread out all over a city or a state, but they're all controlled by one controller. That's fine. You implement this system as well. All right. It doesn't have to be at the same physical location, as long as it's the same client. All right. So I think I've went through everything there. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Anybody? Yeah, I think you're right, Daryl. It was Brett talking to Steve. But I think I'm done here. I don't know if I've missed anything. If anybody wants to know if it does anything in particular, speak now or forever hold your peace. I'm just going to go and walk through this, okay? There's not going to be any volume. Daryl, that would be myself and Steve. You say who are the owners of Big Data? It's not. It's a Big Data solution. It's City Wi-Fi. Difference between gray label and white label. In what manner, Todd? There's several. One, price, and two, gray label. There's no branding whatsoever, and white label is all your own branding. So that when you can tell your customer go to Todd.com, and they'll go to Todd.com. They'll see Todd.com's logos and branding everywhere. Whereas with gray generic label, you won't. Hey Scott, I don't know what's going on with the voice. You're the only one that said that it's they're having issues. One person was having an issue getting the video to play, but that seems to have straightened out. I'm just sitting here waiting for questions. I'm not going to go through the dashboard anymore. Everybody's seen it. Everybody's seen the version 2. Um, by the way, just so you know, and you know, it's not a sales ploy. It's not a sales tactic. Nothing like that. But the pricing that I've given you on the white label and the gray label, all right, that's till September 2nd, the release date. Once we do the release on September 2nd, if you're not in, your prices are going to go up come the 15th. All right. So if you're committed by then, and we don't need all the money or anything like that. It's just we need to know who's in and who's not. Then and we'll work with you on payment. But come the 15th of September, our white label is now $3,500 minimum, and everybody who comes in after that is going to pay for each additional module. Whereas you guys will, early adopters, so to speak, will get all the upgrades at no charge. As I mentioned, there will be some charges for some APIs, but that's directly with the other companies that we integrate, not necessarily with us. Okay, guys, what I'd like to do if Daryl and Todd and Scott, and I'm not sure who Dab is, if you guys want to jump off here and go on to Skype, and my Skype handle is GIXXXER97, and we can have like a group call, or if you want to set up another Google Hangout with video and camera for everybody, then I'll answer any questions and all questions that you guys would like to ask in a live environment, so to speak. Your choice to set up another Google Hangout or Skype. I prefer Skype myself. It seems to be a little smoother. This is one of our live client logins, by the way, guys. Okay, guys, I'm going to end this. Anybody who wants to come on the Skype, like I said, it's GIXXXER97. I see it. Just hit me up there, and I'm going to launch it now and end this. All right, this will be available for replay. I've got a couple of videos posted up already on Big Data YouTube channel. All the walkthroughs, how to flash it from stock, how to flash it from another platform that you may or may not be a member of. Both of them. Actually, I'll just come out and say it, whether you got an LWN or a YabWire device. Oh, and I'm not knocking any of them. All right, we all know the situation surrounding LWN. All right, I don't know if what's done or not done on it. I haven't checked it out. I know the intentions are good, but I'm not following them at all, so I really don't know what's going on with it. YabWire, for you that signed up with us with YabWire, you know what they did? They just increased the price and didn't give it a choice, and that's not good business. That was another thing I didn't mention to you guys. With us, in writing, your prices will not increase for a minimum of 1 year, and that will be in writing. All right. So to end that note, I'll see everybody on Facebook or on Skype.